Welcome to Eureka Street Crypto. This is my anti-professional crypto channel. I'm just a barely sane dude who fell down the cryptocurrency rabbit hole. This channel is my fumbling attempt to communicate myself outside my own head about my journey in the crypto space. It is basically my brain dump. None of this is actual financial advice. Good morning, everybody. I'm Eureka John, and you're at Eureka Street Crypto, broadcasting live from Leander, Texas at 6:07 in the morning. So it's a little later before I have to go to work. So I'm gonna have to be quick about this one because the time it takes to upload and mix the audio for the audio version and stuff like that. I try to get it all done real quick. Yeah, this is my live video stream by my video blog. This is where I dump out all of my information of crypto stuff that I've learned from the day before and whatnot. Yesterday I had an interview with Proof of Beans, and we talked more conceptually about technical analysis and improv and improv artistry, like in the actual theater, and crypto, and a lot of the intersection between that and the similar types of concepts. And it was cool. It's a cool conversation. Today I'm going to focus a little more on a more project-based type of topic. I want to talk about a project called CUDOS. Yeah, this is none of this is financial advice. This is just me just kind of like learning as I go. And that's the whole point of this show, is to just kind of document things that I'm learning. So things that I say may not be correct. It may not represent your project well, and that's why I'm not sponsored by anybody. So, I'm not doing this for money, and I'm not doing this to try to shill and pushy products. I'm doing this to just kind of explore the space and see what's up with a lot of this stuff. And I started out just kind of flipping on a camera and a mic and just learning about crypto in general. What is the proof of stake, proof of work, consensus network and all that. And I've kind of moved into, just about everything. And I've learned a lot in this space, joined a few DAOs, met a bunch of people. It's been a really interesting ride for sure. Let's see, this is episode number 430. So yeah, I've been doing it a minute. It's St. Patrick's Day, March 17th. I don't know who decided that they were going to make this holiday about kids. I mean, I don't drink anymore, but this holiday is about adults getting to day drink and not feel bad about it. It's somebody decided that they were gonna. The schools, I think, decided that they were gonna tell kids that their parents need to make leprechaun traps all around the house, and with like fairy dust and sparkles and all this stuff. I don't know who thought that up. At first it was Elf on the Shelf. I'm like, okay, one more thing to do on Christmas. And then now it's this leprechaun trap thing. What's going on with that, man? Like I said, it's not like I'm going to be going out and going to the bars today, but, this holiday was all for adults, man. I guess it was a drinking holiday and they're trying to make something else out of it that's nice. I don't even honestly know what the original holiday was about. I think, what did it have something to do with St. Patrick's getting rid of the rats on the island of Ireland and therefore eliminating the plague? Maybe. I'll have to look into the history of that. But anyway, and then yesterday I totally played hooky from work. I went to the Austin Rodeo with my family, and it was worth it. Sometimes I was all stressed out, and my wife, she was on edge, and the kids were misbehaving because they were cooped in the house. And I was like, you know what? Sometimes you just got to just like hang it up, do something with your family. I got a bunch of cool pictures, had some really great experiences with my kids. And, I'll never be able to trade that in. And one extra day of work does not matter. Things are still getting done. And, keep that in mind. No matter what happens in this crypto market, your family is still the most important thing that you can have. So, there's a lot of ups and downs and emotions and drama going on in the crypto world. Sometimes you just need to release yourself from that. And so take a walk. if things get too stressful. Go be with people that you love and that don't care about crypto. And that's another thing too about my job that I do appreciate. I work in manufacturing industry, and nobody there gives a damn about crypto. They can barely operate their computers in a lot of ways. A lot of the people there can't. So yeah, it's just like it's kind of this reality check of how early you are in this space, and the fact that a lot of these issues like proof of stake and proof of work are at the top of your mind, where a lot of people have no inkling of an idea of even what it is at this point. So yeah, I mean, I'm still sometimes at work explaining to people the difference between searching through something through a Google search bar versus the actual www.google.com address bar at the top. So, I mean, it gives you an idea, you know. Um, it's right now it's all about education. We need to help people learn and teach them anyway about all this stuff. And because like I said a couple episodes back, you're jumping from lily pad to lily pad to learn how to avoid the future slavery of the surveillance state. That's why I'm learning about Web3 and crypto, so I can be a little bit ahead of the game. All right, so let's go over here to the CoinGecko market cap rankings chart. Some people use Coin Market Cap, some people use Coin Codex, Coin Paprika, some people use the paid versions like Token Metrics and stuff like that. I just use CoinGecko just because I like the logo. I like little geckos. All right, so let's see here. Maybe I should refresh this. Bitcoin's at 40,000. Are we gonna stay here this time? Are we gonna? I think so. A lot of the Bitcoin has been flying off exchanges. And that means people are not selling. People in exchanges, when people have Bitcoin on exchanges, it means that they are getting ready to sell, and people are not selling right at this point. And I think a lot of what all this market shakedown has done too, it's liquidated a lot of people who had all their crypto, the retail traders who had crypto on exchanges and leveraged out and were borrowing against it in order to do it. It's shaking out a lot of the scumbags in the market. I mean, I hate to say that, but yeah. So anyway, so Bitcoin's at 2,776 and 77 cents. Let's see. So we have Tether and Binance and USD, all three stable coins in the top three. In the top five. So I haven't really seen that before. Like, oh no, I'm sorry. BNB is not a stable coin. That's the centralized Binance. I was confusing that with Binance US dollar down here. So no, okay. So this is about right. USDC, XRP, 78 cents. Terra, 89 cents. Solana, $87. Cardano, 84 cents. Polkadot, let's see, 1893. Avalanche up 10% to 77.83. Avalanche is one of those volatile currencies. Another layer one to try to jump in and substitute where Ethereum lacks, like scalability and speed. Let's see, Dogecoin 11 cents. Shiba Inu, yeah. Wrap Bitcoin, Kronos, okay, 40 cents. And the Cosmos Hub. There's been a lot of interesting things coming out using the Cosmos blockchain, the Tendermint software development kit. And the Cosmos, what it does, it allows you to build your own blockchain based on the Cosmos network using the Tendermint development network. I believe Terra is built on that. The Kronos chain from Crypto.com is built on it. There are a lot of projects built using the Cosmos Tendermint SDK. I'm not sure if Near is or not. No, I think Near is its own. But my point is today we're going to talk about a blockchain called CUDOS. And CUDOS is built using the Tendermint software development kit based on Cosmos. And this one caught my eye at the DAO Planet conference where I was doing all that video production and live streaming at. And I don't know. I mean, it's like another layer one. And then also Celestia is coming out with another layer one. I thought layer ones were over, and I thought layer twos were going to be in vogue. Everybody's just like, it's kind of like browser wars. Do we really, back in the 90s, do we really need another browser? Do we really need another layer one? And I've said previously in a lot of my videos, layer ones, all roads point to Ethereum, yada yada. Do we really need all these other layer ones, all the other blockchains? Ethereum's going to be the winner. There is no Ethereum killer. Cardano's tried, Polkadot's tried, yeah, Phantom's tried, Avalanche has tried, Harmony's trying. You have all these these blockchains that are trying to come in and supplant Ethereum, but it's not going to happen because all these blockchains end up in the long run pointing to Ethereum or bridging to Ethereum or and whatnot. However, this Cosmos WASM, virtual machine type of thing that's coming into place, I think is some really good competition, and some of these blockchains being built off of it are using the inter-blockchain communication protocol, the IBC protocol, and to be able to be interoperable with Ethereum. So you can use Ethereum and you can use Cosmos and Ethereum and any blockchain built on Cosmos and be completely interoperable with Ethereum. So I don't know. All this is kind of just like molding together in some kind of blob. Well, CUDOS is another layer one. And I know I mentioned Celestia and the whole idea of monolithic versus modular blockchains, and that's for another day. But they're basically compartmentalizing out the functions, because blockchains don't just do one function. They do data availability, they do execution, they do a lot of different things, data storage, and all those. Now, previously they were all taken care of by one blockchain, and it took longer for transactions to process. It's just a lot of stuff to do. And now they're breaking all those apart, and they did the same thing in the computer chip industry. They used to, because computer central processing units and computers take care of a lot of different types of tasks, and they were coming up to the point where they could only add more silicon to the computers and transistors to the computer chips. Not that I know a whole lot about computer chips, but they were coming to this point where they just really couldn't add anything more to make it faster. Instead, I believe it was AMD broke apart the computer chips into one little tiny central router within it, and then maybe say like 4 or 5 other little chips around it that take care of different functions of the CPU. So they were able to scale up that way. So now blockchains are kind of following that similar model by breaking apart some of the different functions that blockchains do, and are putting them on different layers. And so that's the difference between a monolithic blockchain, which the blockchain that does all those functions and tasks on one blockchain, versus a modular blockchain. So a lot of these blockchains are now coming out as modular blockchains, and that's kind of the next iteration of layer one blockchains that are claiming to want to maybe not really supplant Ethereum, but work with Ethereum. And so CUDOS here is doing something different. They're coming from a cloud storage type of point of view, and let's see, their token is up 1.7%. Let's see here. So it's pretty cheap to get at 2 cents right now. But let's see here. Decentralized future of blockchain gaming and metaverses. Okay, so let's go back to the basics here. Why decentralized compute is Web 3's next frontier. Okay, so let me read a little bit of this article. Can we truly call it a decentralized web if it runs on hyper-centralized infrastructure? The Web 3 train took some battering last week after Moxie Marlinspike's expose on the shoddy security infrastructure around NFTs went viral. And I talked about this earlier this week in my interview with my neighbor Ben, the NFT whale. He was saying that NFT projects like Bored Ape Yacht Club and stuff like that, a lot of times the actual JPEG data is not stored on the blockchain itself. It's just the hash that represents that is stored on the blockchain, and the actual JPEG data is stored on places like Amazon web servers and stuff like that, on centralized servers. So it kind of defeats the point of centralization, and that is a huge problem for decentralization, and decentralization should be of top concern to everybody in the blockchain world. That piece that Moxie Marlinspike wrote about the shoddy infrastructure about NFTs, and then what I just talked about, that piece prompted heated debates around digital ownership and security. Including this less than convincing retort from Vitalik Buterin, which have essentially amounted to, we don't quite have enough money yet. With the continuing fallout from that conversation, it's evident that moving beyond hype and speculation, the buzzwords, metaverse, NFT, and the hype and speculation requires rethinking current infrastructure models in the blockchain industry. To provide some context, let's briefly discuss previous web iterations and why this represents a critical challenge for the future of Web 3. So Web 1, otherwise known as the World Wide Web, was envisioned as the information ecosystem where everyone was a creator of and consumer of content and infrastructure. Basically, just like, pets.com, skateboards.com, and it was just somebody, putting their business up there, and then maybe some photos of their business and some information. So it was a server showing you information, and that's it. You did not get to interact with that information. Everybody owned servers and interacted with other servers via internet protocol. This proved both unsustainable and redundant in the long run due to the cost of hosting and maintaining hardware. Basically, if you wanted to create in that Web 1 network infrastructure space, you had to run your own damn server. So corporations emerged dedicated to deploying infrastructure, enabled unprecedented scaling. So then you have these big server farms pop up, and these companies, Amazon, Google, Microsoft, and the early adopters who built applications on centralized infrastructures, Facebook, Twitter's, achieved phenomenal success. Because they were providing the server space and the data farms and all that stuff to be able to do that. Despite these successes, centralizing infrastructure, storage, and compute capacities has resulted in many issues ranging from privacy concerns, single point of failure threats to environmental devastation and monopolistic corporate activities, and much, much more. Against this backdrop, Web3, often known as the Decentralized Web, has emerged with the goal of equally and sustainably dispersing the internet's resources and profits. However, some old and new difficulties have surfaced in this evolving environment, which we will discuss. So Web3's ironic problem. Web3 is supposed to be all about decentralization, right? The ironic problem is centralization. And so as I talked about with this NFT example, like, these really super expensive NFTs and this tokenized property and all this stuff, just the hash of it is up on the blockchain, and the actual information in these smart contracts and in the JPEG information or video information or whatever type of information that hash is supposed to represent is stored on these centralized servers. So you're not really decentralized if you're just collecting NFTs. Like a lot of these NFTs up on OpenSea that you see that you can buy that are really expensive, the actual JPEG information and a lot of that stuff is not on the blockchain. Just a little tiny hash pointing to it. And so if that server hosting the JPEG and all that stuff goes down, you don't have access to your NFTs. Okay, so it turns out that while we were obsessed with proving digital ownership of NFTs, we somehow missed how to prevent their disappearance due to a mere broken link. If that link breaks, you don't have access to it. So blockchains store transaction information and protect them from tampering, but larger data types like Bored Apes and Yawning Cats are typically stored off-chain with only an on-chain link to the data. Just a link. Subsequent investigations have revealed that off-chain storage often relies on centralized cloud services that provide infrastructure support for NFT metadata. More disturbingly, perhaps, most Web3 application front ends continue to rely on Amazon Web Services, Azure, and Google for their cloud support. So who owns the asset? The issue of building decentralized apps, dApps, on centralized infrastructure inevitably raises near philosophical questions on the nature of ownership as digital assets continue to be exposed to off-chain security architectures. Indeed, in many ways, this reliance has imported Web 2's privacy and single point of failure threats into Web 3. For example, one massive accident to an Amazon Web Service data center could potentially lead to many crypto holders being unable to access their assets, and such incidents are hardly far-fetched. We cataloged the most damaging incidents last year due to cloud centralization, and there's a whole link to it. I'll link this article in the whatever the video description. So it's a no-brainer that decentralized applications should run on decentralized infrastructure. I mean, that's what Web3 is supposed to be about, right? So besides the goal of limiting corporate and political control of data and reducing environmental waste caused by the excessive building of hardware, yeah, I mean, how much computer trash do you have like laying around your house? What do you do with those old? Yeah. So perhaps the most compelling argument for decentralized computation and storage is that we can redistribute the profits associated with hosting and deploying infrastructure. This is Web3's next major frontier. Imagine a future where Amazon and Google's multi-billion dollars so imagine a future where Amazon and Google's multi-billion-dollar cloud infrastructure is distributed among millions of people across the globe who lend spare hardware, earn for this service, and safeguard the environment simultaneously. Projects like our CUDO Compute identified this potential from the outset. And I believe that they are just about, if they have not already gone mainnet, I think they're just about to go mainnet like here this week. Or maybe they just did. I don't know, but I'll have to look into that. But I mean, this is the libertarian in me sees the word redistribution, and I immediately think like socialism or communism. But they're not asking and taxing the people on this. This is trying to use technology to supplant the large multi-billion-dollar Amazons and Googles that are dominating the space and capitalizing off of your private data, and redistributing all those hoarded billions of dollars that could be used to help the economy and help people in society and all that stuff that's just being hoarded. Hey, what's up? He spells his name, or she, 4 A's and 3 A's. So interesting info. Anyway, so yeah, that's that article on CUDOS. So they're basically coming from a cloud infrastructure type of thing, and they describe, they say that the blockchain world is like cities, and every city has their own unique culture, unique characteristics, their unique contributions to the world. New York City is very different from LA, and I've heard comparisons of Ethereum being New York built up, using older infrastructure, and then Solana being LA being built out and for speed and stuff like that. And then you have Avalanche, which is Chicago. It was on Bankless HQ on a podcast. I can't remember who wrote an article about that, but it was an interesting article. But the people at DAO Planet described CUDOS as kind of like another blockchain city. And different blockchains solve different problems. They come at this whole Web3 paradigm shift with some kind of different need being met, and the need that they're trying to meet is cloud computing, because they all have a cloud computing background. So they're saying your decentralized cloud computing network. CUDOS unites cloud and blockchain. We use spare computing to create a decentralized, sustainable, and connected world. So yeah, another layer one, but a specialized layer one. So let's take another quick look at another article here. And they also want to focus on the metaverse, because metaverse and play to earn gaming is going to take a lot of computing and a lot of cloud space, and what happens whenever, and I also pointed out Infura as well, running MetaMask, what happens whenever there's censorship that needs to happen, or, if the government or some, centralized entity really wants to shut down blockchain, they kind of can. All they got to do is shut down Amazon Web Services and the cloud network that hosts a lot of these crypto assets. And exchanges and all that other stuff. So if you can use decentralized cloud networks, you can get around all that. So let's see here. Blockchain-based gaming has seen meteoric growth over the past year, and the uptrend continues, often associated with play-to-earn and GameFi. Blockchain-based games have gained popularity owing to their ability to let their users monetize their time and effort spent on these platforms. So yeah, whenever you're sitting there paying $1.99 in gold to continue on to the next level in your game, you're basically throwing that away. But not if you're doing blockchain play-to-earn gaming. You can add to your basically assets that you're building up by playing the game, and then you can sell when you're done with the game all your items or your gold or whatever, and you can liquidate it down to Ethereum or whatever currency, and you can go move on to another game with a bag full of profits you may have made on one game, or at least just sold off all the money that you've spent trying to finish the game. So, what began as a way to earn income in developing countries during the COVID-19 pandemic continued to attract mass adoption in 2021, according to Blockchain Game Report Q3 2021. The blockchain industry registered 1.4 million daily unique active wallets, UAWs, on average, with 49% of those interacting with blockchain-based games. During the same period, in-game NFT collectibles generated $2.32 billion in sales, representing 22% of the total NFT trading volume industry-wide. Now, I'm starting to play to earn games as well. I'm playing DeFi Kingdoms. I'm going to play Freaks and Guilds. Play to earn games are a crucial enabler of this boom. Blockchain games have paved the path for a decentralized gaming economy by facilitating in-game asset ownership via NFTs and native tokens tradable in digital asset marketplaces. Blockchain provides the backbone of the metaverse with interoperable NFT assets that can migrate in different metaverses. What sets blockchain games apart from the existing ones is the ability to own your in-game assets truly. These assets don't remain on the game market's centralized servers, and the player is free to resell them on the third-party marketplaces or carry them into other compatible games. So say say one game doesn't upgrade, like Street Fighter, right? And then you're able to add, like, one of my favorite players in Street Fighter was Blanca, and I know I'm old, but I mean, this is what I'm referring to. Now, imagine if you could give Blanca like special zapper characteristics or some kind of special. Give him a shirt, for God's sakes, that character never wears a shirt. And Street Fighter 1 went on to Street Fighter version 2. And then when Street Fighter version 2 came out, you had to just like basically start over again. What if you could take his damn shirt and bring it to Street Fighter 2 with you and his special extra hyper-powered zapper characteristic? Or what if you wanted to sell that shirt to somebody who wanted to buy a damn shirt for Blanca? So yeah, this is kind of the idea of it. And I know I'm old and I'm referring to like Street Fighter, but I mean, it's what I know. Okay, so let's see here. Here saying, is anything in the cloud truly decentralized? Well, that's what CUDOS is working on. So they're saying our decentralized cloud computing network CUDOS is equipped with the infrastructure needed for building metaverses and play-to-earn ecosystems. As we embrace the open, decentralized future of metaverses and gaming economies, it is highly pertinent that a decentralized compute platform forms the underpinning foundation. So yeah, they are trying to decentralize that cloud computing network, and basically, I mean, it sounds to me a little bit like, Filecoin is using decentralized storage as far as being able to pay people to use the extra storage on their computer as long as they run the node on their computer. Sounds like CUDOS is basically letting people earn the CUDOS token by allowing their computers to be connected to the decentralized web and for people to be able to use the extra computing space. And they're not talking about, like, maybe they're talking about me and your little computers, but they're mainly talking because there's various levels of service providers in cloud computing. There's the huge guys, like Amazon and all that stuff. But then there's like a lot of smaller ones as well. And I think they're talking more about that middle layer. And so the middle layer can sit there and offer their services in a decentralized manner to be able to provide some of this cloud computing. So let's see here. There's another article. And I still don't totally understand this, and I'm working through it as I'm here, talking about this, and this is why I do this show. So here's another one that's talking about the differences, because first of all, you have to get people to understand the differences between Web 1.0, 2.0, and 3.0 to understand the problem. So amid the hype of non-fungible tokens and continued adoption of smart contract platforms like Ethereum and Solana, the term Web 3.0 has come into vogue. But unlike most buzzwords and trendy nomenclature, the term might be poorly understood. To date, Web 3.0 has been largely associated with the metaverse, and another term in vogue. So all these buzzwords flying around, but these heavily branded digital products are really a small part of what Web 3.0 is and can be. And some argue that they are a poor way to gain a real understanding of Web 3.0. So where to start? To understand this latest iteration, it's important to understand Web 1.0 and 2.0. The former is the name given to the birth of the internet, the World Wide Web. When the internet was created, it was primarily a peer-to-peer endeavor. People were both creators and consumers of content and technology. The back-end support that supported it relied on enthusiasts and everyday individuals to run servers. This quickly became unsustainable. The cost of running servers that could support the rapidly growing internet soon became impossible at the individual level. So I remember setting up a little Microsoft, Office server, and you can't really, I mean, you can do that, I guess, but to get like the real performance you need at the scale, if you're going to scale your business, you have to use cloud servers now. So corporations stepped in and built dedicated infrastructure, spending billions to create the dominant version of the internet today, Web 2.0. This iteration is built on centralized and corporate model. Companies like Amazon, Microsoft, Google, run server farms across the world, and these farms provide the backbone of the modern internet. If you're reading this, there's a near certain chance that you're interacting with a server belonging to one of these three companies. So it sounds pretty monopolistic, doesn't it? What the heck happened to this website? It just kind of like hold on. All right. Okay, this model has some major advantages over Web 1.0 functionality, but some say it's turned out to be a nearly Faustian bargain. The internet is a tool of immense power, one of the most significant in human history, and is controlled by just a small handful of companies, and these companies collect dizzying amounts of personal data from the customers and sell it to the highest bidder. If the product is free, you are the product. So, on top of the moral quandaries surrounding Web 2.0, its centralized model means it is susceptible to single points of failure. At issue is a specific server farm or in a company's code could bring down large swaths of the internet. And we've seen that happen. Web 3.0 is designed, was it the solar flare hack and stuff like that? And like just a bunch of other stuff has happened. Web 3.0 is designed to address these issues, founded on the principles of decentralization and democratization at the core of cryptocurrency. Web 3.0 uses the blockchain to hope to set the internet free. In this model, centralized server farms are not needed. The information is transacted and secured in an immutable public ledger. Here, the internet is arguably returned to the spirit of its early days with the technical abilities of the modern internet. However, at the moment, much of Web 3.0 must still interact with Web 2.0. Many front ends of blockchain-based applications, those little dApps where you connect your MetaMask wallet, still use services like Amazon Web Services, but this may change, and numerous companies are looking into ways to innovate this. CUDOS Ventures is one example that has created CUDOS to address this. The service, which recently successfully launched its mainnet, so it did launch, is a decentralized cloud computing platform. Through the power of blockchain, the computing needs of applications can be performed by a decentralized network that is owned by individuals and is not susceptible to a single point of failure. With this and platforms like it, Web 3.0 may be able to begin to deliver on its promise. So that's pretty promising to me, I didn't realize this whole issue with the centralized servers, and I mean, I was walking around just spouting off how Web3 is so amazing, it's all decentralized, it's for the people, whatever. And then, here I am sitting there, here's Amazon Web Services sitting here just kind of just like laughing at me in the background, and people like me too that are just very, pie in the sky, pie-eyed or doe-eyed or whatever you want to say, very naively saying, spouting all these ideals and, without necessarily really understanding, the reality behind a lot of these ideals. And, you see a lot of this too in environmentalism as well. There are a lot of ideals, but what is the actual reality that is going on behind a lot of these ideals, and a lot of things, ideology and, what is it too? Identity politics. There's the ideals are great, but the reality behind implementing them a lot of times is not so great. So that it's always healthy to take a good, healthy look at the things from the large scale of things and kind of lift up underneath the bed, underneath the cover, and look at what's going on. So what is Cloud CUDO Compute? We're a global decentralized cloud computing platform building a vast range of computing and network services designed to deliver the next generation of DWeb and edge applications. CUDO Compute allows organizations and developers like you to deploy, run, and scale based on demand and growth. Technology is designed to address the latest demands of the decentralized internet, Web 3.0, growth at the edge, and low latency access like 5G enabled devices are at our core. Therefore, our platform provides the foundation on which to build the next generation. Moreover, as a carbon neutral network, we deliver computing that is sustainable and kind to the environment. So our decentralized platform allows you to save up to 10 times more centralized hyperscale. I want to know how they do that. So where are the tools, the actual mechanics? So a lot of this stuff is conceptual. I want to get into the nuts and bolts of it. I want to know, I know they're using Cosmos and then Tendermint SDK, and they have a token built on it, I guess, to pay people for allowing them to be an edge node and to, like an edge node, say, Theta token Theta network uses the same principle that anybody can download the edge node and help run the decentralized video streaming. And I run it on my computer, and it eliminates the need for these large centralized content delivery networks. And this kind of falls along a similar type of example. I can imagine that everybody can download their own edge nodes and allow their computer to be able to contribute their computing power to the decentralized cloud computing network here. And that seems to be what is going on here. So I'll dig a little deeper into this. Like I said, this is my time in the morning to just explore a lot of these concepts, and my time is past due. I'm 36 minutes over. Anyway, I was saying I was that same way with Web3 until today. Thanks for sharing this needed knowledge. Yeah, thank you for listening, and thank you for tuning in. A lot of people don't really tune in the mornings live because I just don't do it consistently, and I don't really come on at any specific time. But I'll put it up on YouTube. And thanks for the like as well. If you're listening on Spotify, give me a follow, or on Google Play or whatever type of podcast network you're on. Yeah, man, I'll talk to you guys probably tomorrow, and because I want to talk about freaks and guilds and in the NFT worlds and all that stuff that also is putting all their NFT information up on the blockchain instead of just a hash representation of that information. So yeah, I'm getting really into that. Is it a real NFT? Is it actually on the blockchain, or is it just a hash of the NFT on the blockchain? Like that. Those are important nuances and distinctions. All right, man. Well, I will talk to you guys later. And yeah. So.
Welcome to Eureka Street Crypto. This is my...
Okay.
Thank you for making it to the end of this program. If you actually like this content, give a thumbs up. And if you want to hear more, just hit the subscribe button. I'm available on YouTube, Odyssey, and BitChute, and on all the major podcasting platforms in audio version. Spotify specifically. If you would like to follow and leave a review, that would help a lot. I am also available on Twitter at EurekaJohn1. That's EUREKA John, JOHN, and the number 1. My DMs are always open. Feel free to shoot me a message. Thanks again.